All right. So today, well, on Friday, we learned about using the thesaurus, and we did workbook page 23 and 24, where you guys picked the right words from the thesaurus to change it to use more interesting words. Remember doing that? And if you weren't here, I need that from you. I need workbook page 23 and 24 completed and turned into me by tomorrow for makeup work. But today we're going to be over on page 25. And we are going to be learning about telling how to do something. That is what we're going to write about when we start writing our story. It's going to be how to do something, okay? We're going to write instructions on, let's see, how to play a game, okay? Y'all are going to write me instructions on how to play a game. And we're not going to do that today, but we're going to start learning how to do that today, okay? And you will choose what game it is that you're going to teach me how to do, all right? But I'm going to read to you some instructions about a game and see if y'all can, if you understand what it means. So y'all listen carefully as I read this to you. All right, this is called group jump rope, okay? The jump, take the instructions, the jump rope, okay, never mind. Choose one student to swing a rope and 5 students begin jumping the rope. You jump the rope all at the same time, but if you miss when you're jumping, then you're out, okay? Do y'all understand? Do you have an idea of how you would play that game from those instructions I gave you? It's not jumping rope like this. It's taking the rope and swinging it around. So one person is in the middle taking the rope and swinging it around, and everyone else is standing out around them and they're jumping the rope. If the rope is low to the ground. And if it hits your legs and you don't jump it, then you're out. And the last person standing is the winner, and they get to be the one that swings the rope. Do you think you could play that if we went outside and played that? Well, we can't go outside and play that right now, but maybe we will another day this week, okay? Yeah. And see if we learn those instructions. Rayana, I need you to be with us on the page that we're on and not flipping through the book. We're on page 25. Way in the front of the book, not in the back of the book. All right. What we're going to start out talking about today is the writing process, okay? Because I want you to learn, you're going to write to me how to do instructions for a game, and you get to pick what game it is, okay? You get to pick. Everybody's will be different, okay? But before we start that, you need to know the steps in writing, in the writing process. There are steps that we take. I don't know what you have that you're playing with your hands, but you need to put it away. Everyone's attention should be focused up here and not on anything in your book and not on anything in your desk and not kicking your feet around and playing around and taking your shoes off. You need to be paying attention to what's going on up front. Am I making myself clear? Because maybe this class needs some time out at recess if they can't listen to what we're doing. And I will talk to the teacher about that if y'all can't focus on me. These are the steps in the writing process. There are 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and the first thing in the writing process is called planning, okay? You plan what you're going to write about. This is where you organize and you use time order words, and we're going to learn about those. But this is where you plan what you're going to write about. So when we get started on this activity tomorrow, you're going to be planning what game that you want to tell me how to play, okay? That's part of the planning process. It's where you tell me what you're going to tell me about, and you sort it out into an order that makes sense, okay? You list things. You make lists, sort of, okay? We were just working with my 4th graders because they're getting ready to do a writing project as well. Theirs is something different. They're going to write a personal narrative. That's a story about them. You'll get to do that next year, okay? But we did a practice one together in class, and we listed things on the board that we wanted to include. That was called planning, where you list the things that you want to include in your story, all right? The next thing, after you get everything listed down, you start drafting, okay? This is where you take your pencil and a piece of paper, and you just start writing. Now, you might not write as neat as you're going to need to write it. You might not spell all your words correctly. You might not have everything in the order that it should be in. This is where you take and put your thoughts inside your head down on paper. When you do that, you skip lines on your paper. You write on every other line so that there's a blank line between each row of words. Why do you think we would leave a blank row in between?
So, just in case if you forget your punctuation, you can fix that when you realize.
You've got room to make changes or fix things. That's exactly what it's for. Because this is our draft, or it's also known as a rough draft, because it's kind of messy. And then when you get to this step, revise, that revise means change. So when you want to change something, you can go in and cross it out, and on those blank lines in between, you can add stuff. Or you can put punctuation in there. When you get to this proofread, that's where you make capital letters or misspelled words or punctuation. You can make those changes. So that's why you skip lines on that rough draft. And then you'll find out when we're doing that, I bring with me to class red ink pens. And everybody takes a red ink pen for that day, and you start making these changes and these corrections. Because revise means to change, like you use your thesaurus and pick a better word for the word you've had. So you cross out the old word, and on that blank line with a red ink pen, you write the new words you want in there. And you forgot your period, so you go back in and you do that little add thing that we learned about, where we add our period with a red ink pen where it's supposed to go. And then when we get all the way down to this stage here called publish, that's where you write a neat final draft of your paper, and you don't skip lines. It's publishing it, and you look and you make all those changes that were in red ink neatly in pencil on your paper, and then you can share it. You can turn it in, or you can read it to the class, or however way we are going to share, okay? So that's why we skip lines. So these are the 5 steps: planning, drafting, that's writing it down, not neatly, just writing it down, getting your thoughts from inside of your head and down onto a piece of paper. And then here's where you fix it, revise it, change it, use your thesaurus, choose some fluffy words. Fluffy words, those are more interesting words, more descriptive words. Miss B made this poster for me. Y'all know who is Miss B when she comes and teaches social studies? This is one she used, and she made this for me. She calls them fluffy words. They're the words that are more interesting than just, we talked about the other day. We could say that there's a big elephant at the zoo, but big doesn't quite seem to describe an elephant, does it? But if we looked in our thesaurus, we might see that another word for big is enormous. And so we could cross out the word big if we had written it in our story. We could do that mark where you mark things out, and then we could add on that line up above the word enormous. So then when we write our neat final draft, when we publish, we would write enormous instead of big in our finished product, right? Does that make sense, guys? Do you understand what I'm talking about? These are important steps. You will use it not just in writing directions on how to play a game, but you'll use this in everything you write. Okay, so it's important that we start learning these steps now. You'll see this poster every time we do a writing chapter, which will be about 7 times, I think, this year. 6 or 7 writing assignments that we do. I'll be bringing, every time we get to one of those chapters, I'll bring this poster in and put it up so that you guys can look at it and be reminded of what the different steps are to get us to that final published document that we share that gets graded. Miss Stockdale takes it and she grades it. And our writing assignments in English count as a test grade. You need to stop. I can sit you in the hallway and I will. I'm not going to be distracted. Do you understand? Thank you. All right. So let's take a look at page 25, okay? On page 25, it says, Isabel wrote instructions for the game of Monkey in the Middle. Has anybody here played Monkey in the Middle before? Okay. Well, she gave some instructions on how to play it. Isabel did several things to make her instructions clear. I'm in the yellow box at the top. You can follow along with me as I'm reading, okay? First of all, she chose to write about a game she knew well, okay? Don't write about a game that you don't know how to play real well, okay? It's like, well, I've seen that play before, but I'm not really sure of the rules. Don't choose that game, okay? You need to choose a game that you've played before, that probably something that you like to play, because if you like to play it, it's gonna be more interesting. If you choose a game you don't really like, you probably won't write a lot about it. You'll just be kind of like, yeah, you do this and then you do this. But choose something you like to play, all right? And that way you're gonna be enthusiastic about it. So choose something you know well. Hey, heads off our desk, please. She introduced the topic in the first sentence of her paragraph. So the first thing you're going to talk about, you're going to tell when you start writing, is exactly what the game is. You're going to tell us what you're going to tell us about. Basically, that's how you say that. Tell me what you're going to tell me about. The third thing that she does is she included the materials that she would need to play the game before she gives the steps on how to play the game. If it's a jump rope game, you're going to need to have a jump rope. If it's a game where you play ball, you're telling me how to play baseball, then you're going to say the materials needed. You're going to need a bat and a ball and a glove and bases and all of those things to play. Depends on what the game is, but make sure you include the things that you need to play the game. And then finally, she included time order words. I mentioned that earlier. Time order words. Does anybody know what those are? Time order words. Yes.
First, next one.
Those are very good examples of time order words. Those are the words that Isabel used in hers. They are words that tell you when something happens in the story. And if you look down at the bottom of your page, there's a blue box down there. It says time order words. Everybody take your finger and put your finger on the blue box. I need to see everyone's finger on the blue box. All right? Very good. Very good. All right. We can see Aiden Parker, read me the first time order word. First. Aiden Vanderberg. Second. Chloe. Nathan.
Next.
All right. Rayana. Honesty. We're on the bottom row now. Last. Morgan. Finally. When. And then we have as soon as. That's not what's just one word, is it? That's a little group of words, a phrase. Or the word after. Those tell when something happens in the story, right? First, we do this. Second, we do this. Third, we do this. Or you might not say first, second, and third. You might say first we do this, next we do this, then we do this, finally we do this. Or you may put, as soon as you finish this, then lastly you do this. Or after you do this, then you do this, okay? That's how you use the time order words in your paragraphs, okay? Does everybody understand about a time order word? It tells when something happens in the paragraph you're writing or in the story that you're writing. All right, look up at the paragraph with me. It says, how to play monkey in the middle. I need to see everyone's eyes looking on the white box as I read how to play monkey in the middle. Monkey in the middle is a fun game that many people can play together. All you need is 2 balls and a group of friends. First, choose a person to be the monkey. The rest of the players form a large circle around him. Next, give the balls to 2 players. These players roll their balls across the circle and try to hit the monkey. The monkey must dodge or jump over the balls. If a ball touches him, he is out. Whoever catches the balls rolls them again. When someone hits the monkey, that person is the winner. He gets to be the next monkey. All right, so that's how you play monkey in the middle. All right, the first sentence in that paragraph is called the topic sentence, okay? The topic sentence. Everybody say that with me. Topic sentence. All right, a topic sentence it explains what the paragraph is going to be about. It's what your topic is. So basically, it tells the name of the game being explained. You will include that in your topic sentence. It's important to make your topic sentence interesting so that the reader will want to finish reading your story. If you have a very boring topic sentence, then no one's going to want to read your story. Okay? And the idea behind writing something, please sit up, is that you want someone to read it. Okay? All right. Isabel uses exact words in her explanation, especially in her choice of verbs. Remember, we learned that verbs are action words. They're doing something. She says, the players roll the balls. Which word did I say that's a verb? The player rolls the balls. Rolls, that's an action, isn't it? So she uses exact words. She doesn't just say, all right, the balls get tossed in the middle or their balls are in the middle and they try to hit. She uses words like roll. She didn't say they throw them. She didn't say they bounce them. We know how to do it. We roll the ball. So when we get out there to play monkey in the middle and Liam's in the middle and you guys are all around, and I said that because he's in the middle right now, and you guys are in the circle all around him, and Morgan takes that ball and she throws it at him. Is she playing right?
No.
Because what's she supposed to do with that ball?
She's supposed to throw it to like someone else.
No, she's supposed to roll the ball. She rolls it across the circle to someone else. And if it hits Liam, if he doesn't jump over it or dodge it as it's coming across, then he's out, right? All right, so she used exact word, roll. The monkey dodges or jumps over the balls. Those are both action words, aren't they? Dodging something or jumping over something. We know exactly what we're supposed to do when we're playing this game, right? And does it say anything about trying to catch that ball?
No.
Nope. So the monkey's not supposed to catch the ball, is he? He is out when a ball touches him. Another action word. Not just when the ball hits him directly, but it could just roll right by his foot. Hit him on the foot, and he's out. And somebody else is the monkey, right? All right. So the specific words help the readers know exactly how to play the game. All right? No questions about it. The time order words make clear when you do certain things in the story. First, we do this. She said, first, choose a person to be the monkey. So right away, we know that we have to decide who's going to be our monkey, right? She gave us a time order word. We do that when? When do we do that? We do it first. That's the word she used, right? We do that first. And on down, she says next. What does she say to do next? Give the ball to 2 players. Very good, Chloe. Give the balls to 2 players. And then what is the last thing? The last time order word that she uses is when. What does that tell us? When what? Please leave that alone on your desk. Yes, Liam?
When someone hits the monkey, that person's out.
That person is the winner and he gets to be the next monkey. The monkey's out. Right. But that's what she tells us what happens when the monkey gets hit. She used first, she used next, she used when. Right? To help us know the order in which the things happen to play this game. Does everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Does Isabel's ending that Liam just read to us make the game sound fun and interesting? Yes? You think it sounds like a fun game to play?
Yeah.
Maybe something you want to play at recess?
Oh, yeah, we played at recess.
Yeah, that sounds like something that would be fun to play at recess. I think it does. All right. All right, what we're going to do today is we're going to plan a game together. If you look, and it's kind of started for us on page 26, I believe. No, it's not 26. I'm sorry. It's not. You don't have this. We're going to do it on the board. And I didn't bring my eraser, so what do you guys erase with? Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
There's your eraser.
so I made a game in my head.
Well, that's good. As long as it's a reel or something that you can explain well, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. What we're going to do in class today is we're going to plan a game. And this game is going to be called Shoe Scramble.
Oh,
Shoe Scramble. Has anybody ever heard of this game before?
no, I know.
Okay. Well, we have a chart that you'll be using. Let me see where y'all's chart is. Not tomorrow, but the next day, y'all are going to be planning your own game, okay? So you're going to plan something. You have a chart that kind of, the top of the chart, it says how to play. So we're going to, how to play, what do we how to play? What does this say? Shoe Scramble. All right, the next thing that we put in our planning chart, because we're in the planning stage of writing, okay? We're not doing any of this right now. We're doing this right now. We're planning our game. So in the planning stage, you tell us, first of all, in your chart, what it is you're going to tell me how to play. Secondly, you're going to tell me the materials that you need. In Monkey in the Middle, you need 2 balls, right? Because that's what you have to hand to the people that are trying to hit. In the jump rope game, excuse me, we needed a jump rope, right? Where we swing the jump rope around. In Shoe Scramble, you need each player's pair of shoes. Each player's pair of shoes. Okay? Now, last year when I taught the 3rd graders, who are now the 4th graders, how to play this game, we actually played this game. We can't do that this year because we can't be grabbing each other's shoes, okay? Because they could have germs on them. I do too. It makes me so mad because this was such a fun game and we had such a fun time, but we really can't do it. So the materials needed, each player's pair of shoes. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is explain how to play the game. So on your chart, you will have, and over here, you'll have some time order words that you're going to use. And so the first one we would use would be first, okay? Because you're going to tell us what to do first. So right away, you're going to say, first, do this. To play this, it is players. I heard Chloe say it. Players take off their shoes. Don't do it. Players take off their shoes. Another time order word. Next. What are they going to do next? We're going to gather all the shoes, mix them up so that both of them aren't together, and then we're going to put them in a big pile. That's the next thing that you do. So if we were doing this right now, I would have had y'all take off your shoes, and then we would mix them up. We'd get out here in the center. We'd move that desk out of the way, and I would start mixing, throw them in this pile and mix them up so that both of Liam's aren't together, that his is next to one of Morgan's, and Chloe's is thrown in there, and one of Rayana's cool-looking boots is thrown in there, and everybody's stuff is all mixed up. Big pile. That could happen.
Someone's shoes might be the same.
They might be, but they're probably not exactly the same. Another time order word we would use would be then, okay? We're going to say then. Here's what you do next. Make a circle around the pile of shoes. So you guys would get in a circle around the pile of shoes. Everybody standing back, okay? And then when the whistle blows or someone says go, but we'll say when blow the whistle and players scramble to find both of their shoes. Players scramble to find, please leave your chair on all four legs. I don't want to tell you that again. Players scramble to find both of their shoes. And then the last thing that happens, finally, the first person, I'm running out of room, the first person to put on his own shoes and stand up wins. The first person to get both of their shoes on their feet and stand up wins the game. They would probably pretty easy, but they still got to get both of them on their feet. But y'all aren't supposed to wear flip-flops to school, so we wouldn't have that problem. So that is our planning chart, okay? That is our planning chart. And you can see, I can hold up here kind of what that looks like. If you flip over a couple of pages in your book, just one page actually, look across the page there. You've got something that looks kind of like this on page 27. Look at page 27. You've got a chart that looks like this, okay? So if we had that paper, you would be filling that out, but you're not going to do that on there because that's where you're going to put your game, okay? But that's what we just did on the board. We planned. So that's what we would do first, okay? That's the planning step. That's filling out the chart of everything that we're going to do, including our time order words. All right? And then after we do that, we have all of this information written in our chart. Then we do a draft. Step number 2, right? We do a draft of our instructions on how to play the game. And I'm going to show you that now. And I'm going to have to move this out of the way so that I can have a little bit more room. And I'm going to take down the poster so that I can use the whole board. I'll put it over here. And we are going to write a draft of our instructions. Draft, that's the first copy, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is talk about the name of what we're going to play, right? So we start out by saying, Shoe Scramble is an exciting game for lots of players. Period. That's our first sentence. That's called our topic sentence. It tells the reader what they're getting ready to learn about, okay? It's the topic sentence. All right, then we start by telling what materials are needed. I need you to stop. Each player needs what? Needs a pair of shoes. Very good. So that's the materials that we need. And then we start with our time order words. We did first, and we said all the players take off their shoes. That's the first thing we did, right? Mm-hmm. Next, one player gathers all the shoes together. He mixes them up. We don't want them together, right? He mixes them up and puts them in a big pile. He mixes them up and puts them in a big pile. All right. Then the players make a circle around the pile. There's another one of those words. There's our other word. Makes a circle around the pile. When the whistle blows, when is one of our words. When the whistle blows, each player scrambles to find his own pair of shoes. I'm getting all of our instructions in here. The first player to put on his shoes and stand up wins. His own shoes. Wins the game. All right. So that will be what your paragraph that you're going to write for me about the whatever you decide to do is going to kind of look like, okay? You're just giving me everything we had listed on our chart. The chart we had up here. You've got a chart on 27 in there that you're going to fill out in a couple of days. Do all of that, and then you take that information and you put it in paragraph form. Paragraph form, that's sentences, right? Last chapter we learned about writing sentences. Sentences have to have subjects and predicates. Shoe scramble, that's the subject of this sentence, okay? That's what the sentence is about. Is a verb, so this is a sentence. We use a topic sentence. It tells what you're telling me about. The topic sentence tells me what you're telling me about. Tells me the name of the game. And then you go through with each of those time order words. First you do this. Next you do this. When this happens, then you do this. And then this tells how you win the game. And you might use a finally or something there. You might not use another time order word. You put all the instructions together in the form of a paragraph with periods and capital letters, all of those things. But now if you look how I spaced it out on the board, I tried to show you that I was leaving space in between each line, right? I didn't write them real close together. It's closer than I would like, but on your paper, you would write on a line, leave a blank line, write on a line, leave a blank line, write on a line, leave a blank line, all the way down, so that if we go back and try to fix it, if I misspelled a word and I needed to correct that, then I could cross it out and write the correct spelling. Or if I thought of something I wanted to add, I forgot to put part of the directions in there, I want to go back and add them, I could do that. I've got room to do it on that draft, which is the second part of what we do. So, that is our class directions or game directions. Tomorrow, we are going to look at what we would do to revise and proofread them. Yes?
When I get done with that page today, can I come to your classroom and give it to you?
If your teacher says it's okay. If you have time to work on it today. If not, take it home and bring it to me tomorrow. But if Miss Blatzer says it's fine here, can you bring it to me? Yes. And you might ask somebody in the class to help you if you don't understand what we were doing, okay? All right. So this is what, we'll look at something just like this tomorrow. I have to erase this. I can't leave it up here. We'll probably rewrite it tomorrow, or I may bring one written on a piece of paper, a big piece of paper for us to go through. And I'll teach you about step 3, which is called revising, and step 4, which means proofreading, and that means to change or correct things that are wrong. And that's what we'll do tomorrow, and then we'll rewrite it neatly. And then on Wednesday, you guys will begin planning your own game. So, your assignment between now and Wednesday is to decide, be thinking about and decide what game you want to write instructions for, okay? What game that you're going to fill out the chart and write for me, because everybody's will be different. Okay, this was our class game, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you here today, 10 usually, and our virtual students, 5 of them. I should have 15 different games. The instructions for how to play 15 different games when we're finished with this next week, okay? When I read these, I should know how to play 15 new games, okay? All right, so that's all we're going to do for today. You can go ahead and close up your book for today, and we'll get into it tomorrow, the rest of it.